Hello, friends. Sergeant Host Eric here of the Type Police. Welcome to Talking with Fence People. I got a perp waiting behind my shield here. I tell you, shield's small enough to pin in my shirt, but it weighs 1,000 pounds. Back before I joined the force, I knew what a good night's sleep felt like. Now I can't get the sight of that ISFP splattered face out of my mind. She pulled an enneagram on me. I didn't know it wasn't loaded. Ruled a good shoot, but they told me there's no place to load anything, even in an enneagram, and a rookie mistake, I guess. But that is why the police department invented training. I need a little bit more training. I went on paid training duty, which, that's not fun. That's a punishment. Anyhow, I'm sorry I'm blathering on here. The job's starting to get to me. It's a lot of bad people out there, a lot of mistyped folk. But today, beyond the badge, we got a gentleman who has called the Type Police on himself. Now, this is not unheard of. First time I've ever encountered it. I'm a rookie on the force, I've told you. But apparently it's not uncommon. It does happen periodically. And usually it apparently correlates with INFP or maybe INTP. So that's what this gentleman is concerned about. I'm here. Obviously I'm concerned. But at least he's making an effort to be in compliance. Which means that I imagine even if I find him out of compliance, I'll simply give him a fix ticket or even maybe a stern warning. So let's see. Claims it's an INTP. INTP, it says right there. Let's take a look.
I don't know how this is gonna come off. I don't even know where to start. Fuck. This is just something to get off. I'm an INTP. I use that label, not that label, but I'm referencing that and just off the bat, mainly because I read a lot about INTPs and it comes off like these niggas are weird. I feel like I wasn't given the proper. If we all got like a personality type, I think God just kind of looked at me and then looked at this other nigga who was probably like Asian or like some white guy with glasses who was very introverted and went, I'm gonna fuck y'all personalities up. I feel like I should be a lot more confident than I am, and I'm not. I'm a huge fucking nerd, but I'm 6'4" and black, so I was pushing the athletics early, so I hung with the jocks, but they never had conversations that were interesting to me, and I spent most of my time reading or playing video games, which is the life of a normal kid. And I think we're all introverted in a sense, because I feel like this shit is almost like everybody's fucking introverted now. Everybody has anxiety, which, I mean, you can't say that in like a dismissive tone. That's the thing about being this kind of. I've read so much on INTP and it matches so much with me, so I don't think I was given the right personality type. If I could, like.
Okay, well, first off the bat, I'm getting clear indications of NE. Now, that doesn't really narrow down anything in this context because the question is INTP, INFP. For the question for me being INTP, INFP, ENFP, ENTP, somewhere in there, one of the four NE types, because I'm just getting a clear expression of extrovert intuition. It seems to me. I will have to watch more to confirm that. I'm gonna spend a little more time on this video because he requested that I type police him. So he's stepping in front of the type police, aware that he could receive a ticket, community service. He could have to put himself on the typological offenders list. You never know. So he's taking a big chance here, and so I'm going to give him a little bit more of my attention than I might otherwise.
Why are INTP so fucking weird, bro? Why the fuck am I so weird? Like, I shouldn't be this fucking... I shouldn't be this fucking socially since I was a kid, my only way, my second grade teacher told my mom when I was young, straight up out the gate, he's very smart and we actually want to move him ahead of grade. The problem is he's not good socially with the other kids. So we don't really know what to do with him. The only way he makes friendships, the only way I made friendships when I was younger was through competition. Meaning I would sit alone by myself with a Game Boy playing Pokemon nonstop. I would bring Yu-Gi-Oh cards and play against myself nonstop. Pokemon cards nonstop. Anybody who I became friends with, I immediately introduced them to Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. Competition was my way of making friends. A majority of my friends have come through competitive sports. Or just when I first meet somebody, it's always on the court or it's always playing football. If I get to meet you in a competitive atmosphere.
Now note that under normal circumstances, if you're just picking up on the locutionary aspects of what he's saying, he's reporting a lot of SE, and he's the games he's talking about, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, those are strategy trading card games that are certainly consistent with NTP, but might be consistent with other things as well. So there's not really any clear indication from the concrete content of his language right now that he's an NTP. But I still get the sense that I still get a pretty clear indication that he is, because it's because of the way he pauses to decide things to then proceed forward in his expression of language. He did this thing not that long ago that was an indication of a dissatisfaction with having to make a decision to say one thing in order to, because it required eliminating other possibilities. There was a certain slightly miffed display that indicated that to me. Again, these are all just correlates at the moment. I'd have to watch a lot of it to really be definitive about something like this, but I'm still saying any. I'm not less convinced than I was before, even though his words would seem to be contraindicative.
You get to see the real me, and we develop a real genuine connection, because that's when I'm my most honest, is when I'm in virile, fucking, let's figure out who's better at what. I used to make my mom compete with me Pokemon wise. We used to have her sit down, and she would tell me this, that I would go to her and go, just sit down with me and play the game. She'd be like, Miles, I don't know how to play. I gotta edit that shit out. Fuck. I'm gonna go with Blue. I like the name Blue. Blue, I can't play this. I don't know how to play Pokemon. And I'd be like, just sit here and lose, and you'll learn while you lose, in my head. But out, expressing that would just be me going, I'll teach you how to play. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm over analytical about everything. I'm slowly realizing that I think I have a love for computer science. Not even that, I haven't even tried computer science enough to really think that I even like it. So I might be wrong right now. But I'm saying that only because I have a project-oriented mind, and I don't do anything. Dog, I procrastinate on everything, and not even just that. Dude, I have so much fucking potential. Right now I should be a D1 athlete. But my confidence is so fucking low But my self-esteem, I think I'm this, like, I should be this world-renowned, fucking, like, in my head, I have this picture of me being this world-renowned scientist that really.
I find the dude bro thing odd because I he's he's doing the video like he's talking to one person, I guess, and that's not a normal conceit for a video. So I find it not, I don't dislike it. I don't find it off putting, but it sort of jars my attention out of the narrative a bit because it makes me want to sort of look over my shoulder like, who's he talking to? He's talking to me? But yeah, that I find that strange. That's not normal for YouTube videos, is it? I don't think so. I don't think I've really seen it before.
Really cracks the code of imagination. But I have no friends. Shit is weird. Like, I don't have any friends. Any. And the friends that I'm not reclusive, but I'm very introverted, and it's been like that since I was a kid. And I have few friends, and I put on a facade, and I do it very well. I'm very good at acting and making it come off as though I'm doing a lot better than I am. I I loved lying since I was young. I didn't love lying, but I realized that I didn't like people interrupting on what I like to do. So if I could find a way to twist the story or the narrative in your mind to make you get the fuck away, if I could lie to you effectively. So I used to lie to my mom a lot when I was young, and she used to always go, "Stop lying, like you're always lying." But I wouldn't lie about everything. I would only lie about the deepest emotional things about me. So anything that I really liked, I would try to keep away from her because I would first feel out how she felt about a subject. So, for instance, she moved me to another school. Dude, why are INTPs so fucking weird? I feel like a fucking weirdo. Like, I'm in college for journalism, and I might get kicked out of fucking LSU. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? But I'm in school for journalism, and I'm realizing that I have a fascination for how the mind works. I'm very interested in flow. I'm very interested in imagination. I'm very interested in meditation just because of the picture that it allows you to create. I'm interested in creating. I feel like I could be like the best artist, but in order to be the best artist, you have to understand procedural works. You have to understand the steps. Everything is math and art. Shout out Gary V. Shout out Gary Vaynerchuk. Everything is math and art. Shout out to Patrice O'Neal. You need to constantly feel like whatever I did is nothing. You need to constantly pull from both sides of the spectrum. Shout out to Bernard Arnault also. I have this Rolodex of people from Peter Thiel to Elon Musk to Dave Chappelle to Patrice O'Neal to Gary Vaynerchuk to Ray Dalio to whoever the fuck. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, their mind. I'm so intrigued by mind state. And I didn't.
I'm leaning INFP at the moment. But I'm not sure. You seem like a quadrumate. You seem like a young NTP in terms of the way the FE is working here, which is it's young FE, you know. It's not super self-aware. Or it's not. It's. I guess I would say it's self-aware as FE always sort of is, but it's not very deft. But it's not. It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel unconscious either. INFPs have better FE than this. I just said you were an INFP and now I'm on you're an INTP. And you linked me to a video in which people are debating back and forth about whether you're an INFP or an INTP as well. I'm going back over to INTP for a moment. Let's continue. Could you be something that's not an intuitive? Well, you're not an ISTP. I see too much NE for you to be an ISTP. I guess in theory, You could be like an ISFJ, maybe. That's possible. That's a quadrumate. You could be an ISFJ. I'm not seeing very much. Well, I just gotta watch more. I don't know yet.
I I'm not social enough to put myself in positions to actually go out and qualify for a lot of these things because I don't have a work ethic, because I lack the focus to sit down on my ass and read or study or stay committed to a certain goal. I lack confidence when I get into certain. I played basketball when I was young. I started playing when I was like when I was in 8th grade, not 8 years old. I started kind of late with everybody else. I started in 8th grade. I got really good around 9th grade, really good. I started playing EYBL, which for those who don't know is one of the top AAU leagues in America, basketball wise. Which everybody who really plays, a majority of the kids who play EYBL are probably better set to go on D1 scholarships and to play D1 than kids who play AAU for just regular ass teams. I'm so moved by comedy. Basketball, I should have got a D1 scholarship, but I allowed my coach. I gave my confidence to my coach in a weird way. I gave it to him. I just gave it to him. Man, I wanted to leave, but I couldn't muster up the confidence to tell my mom that I can't perform for this guy because we don't, not even that we don't see eye to eye. Every from the time I came to the school in 10th grade to the time I left my senior year after I graduated, those 3 years, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, those 3 years that I spent there was a different rotation of players every year, meaning that I would go with 80% of the team left every year because they hated the coach. And I stayed because my mom understood that it was a private school. It was a private school education that propelled me to, if basketball didn't work out, be better set college-wise. But nigga, college is such... I don't even want to say it's bullshit. It's really what you make of it. But you hear guys like Peter Thiel and Elon Musk.
It's bullshit.
Went through college,
It is bullshit.
going to college. Both explain how college is essentially a waste of time. And my issue is I need college because I need that social atmosphere because I don't have it. And I need that communication piece. I don't have it. And I see that INTPs in general lack the communication piece. And why the fuck don't we have it? What is wrong with my brain to the point where I don't have the capacity to hold fucking conversations unless they interest me? What is this? I'm only interested in ideas. I can't sit around with people that I should be like. You don't want to call everybody else stupid because everybody else is stupid. Everybody else has emotional intelligence, and that's something that I lack. I'm seeing that there's intelligence there that hasn't really been propelled to the heights that it could be because I haven't tried and I'm lazy. And I also see that that's a big fucking aspect of INTPs. And I also see that I lack the emotional intelligence because I enjoy my solitude, but I enjoy it to a fault. And I enjoy it at the expense of my development. Dog, I shouldn't be this fucking sorry in life. Like this somebody pointed out how Elon Musk is a very is an INTP that isn't lazy. Meaning what he's doing is something that I feel like I would do. I would try to manage a bunch of businesses at one time because I have so many ideas for so many different things that I would like to be one of the head honchos on each one. And I could see myself doing something in that aspect for the mind instead, not for global energy and fucking.
Is Elon Musk an INTP? I don't even know what generally he's typed as. I've never attempted to type him. I don't think I've even ever heard him speak, really. Like, heard a speech of his or anything. I assumed he was some kind of NTJ. But I could be wrong. I don't know. He would be that's a lot of SE for an INTP. But, I mean... maybe he's on a bunch of Adderall. That really helps. By the way, I'm not just a type policeman. I'm also a metaphysician. So I'm going to metaphysically prescribe you Adderall. You could use it. You're an INTP. Your FE's pretty rough. But that's part of why you're an INTP. I mean, fourth slot INTP in FE can be very, very effective, but it requires. I mean, this isn't a context necessarily in which it's going to be so effective, and also there's an urgency. I mean, NTP dialogue is very first person. And we do well to move away from some of that first person narrative into more concrete parsing of the ideas. So you talk about being interested in ideas and wanting to be like a head person in multiple an enterprise comprised of multiple companies and sort of be at the head of each of those things and stuff. I mean, I think that's a perfectly normal desire for a lot of different types. So I don't think that's necessarily indicative of anything. You take sort of a pathos approach to it, which is saying here are people whose ideas and stuff that I'm into. When you reference one of them, you'll give a nod to them to sort of cite it. That's I don't know quite what to make of that. I'd say that's definitely an FE thing. Um, all of us who have FE anywhere other than probably polar, but even them probably want to have others perceive our strengths. So we'd like others in general to see the aspects of ourselves that we like and we are good at, and typically the instinct is to shroud those aspects of self that we don't like and don't feel good about. So it's natural for INTPs to want to announce themselves alongside their intelligence, as everybody wants to announce themselves alongside their best foot forward kind of approach. But people's perceptions are subtle things. Let's continue.
Electricity, fuck on it. I'm more interested in the mind. I really feel like self-awareness is a huge aspect. Meditation is a huge aspect, and I'm saying its importance in the fact that I can picture myself doing things that I know I have the potential to do, right? Socially, academically, athletically. But I'm not allowing myself to I'm fucking lazy, and I don't push myself in social situations to be myself. I don't know who the fuck I am. For all those fucking horoscope nuts, I'm also a Pisces. I don't know what the fuck that has to do with it. But I was just like, let me just see how deep this shit goes. And I looked into astrology and I realized that it's primarily bullshit. But it's a funny read based on my personality type. Just to read about the traits of a Pisces, not the emotional bullshit aspect, but the mind. Not even the mind. What they're interested in. It's fucking weird. And I'm like, this is so relatable, but I understand that this is bullshit. I have a fucking contrasting mind. I want to pull from two opposite ends of the spectrum. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. INTPs, why the fuck are we so weird? And why can't I drop this weirdness so I can pick up focus and grit and hard working? And I know I can do these things because I've done them. I've entered these flow states where I've done things and I've knocked shit out and I've killed shit. And people are like, wow, he has so much potential. Why is he doing this so inconsistently? Mrs. Blue.
I mean, I think he's an ENTP. I think he's an INTP. He's talking about polar SI. I mean, polar SE. That's what you're talking about there. I forget what your name was. Barles? Your name is Barles? That's a strange name. Blue Miles. That's not the same thing as Barles. Blue Miles. Hi, CJ. Thanks. I'm doing an episode of Type Police right now on Blue Miles. Blue Miles, I'm going to go ahead and say you're an INTP. I'm going to play a little bit more because I think there are probably some of the viewing audience of Type Police who are still skeptical. And I can understand why one might be skeptical. There's not really been a lot of actual ideational work done in this video. But you kind of bounce all over the place. Some people are going to say, "Oh, SE." I don't, and they're going to say he's just self-reporting he's just self-reporting a lack of SE. That's not what I hear. I hear actual polar SE, and that thing where you go, I've been there before. I've entered states of flow where I've been able to complete project, do kick-ass work, and blah 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 blah. And it's frustrating that you aren't able to repeat that or do it on, actually, the better way to put it, it's frustrating you're not able to do it on command of yourself. I command myself now to get into a flow state, and in order to get in that state, you have to be first captured by enthusiasm for the thing. And the enthusiasm is going to come from it being a TI heavy kind of thing that allows you to additionally be ideationally creative with it, which is your tool function. And if the project fits in your wheelhouse and you've got a little bit of ignited, say some FE motivations, like, if something's really in your wheelhouse, well, then it's potential to impress the teacher or whatever else, like you were about to talk about, which both INTP and ENTP like a lot. We like that kind of affirmation. So if you really want a solution to this sort of stuff, then you just gotta understand yourself and your tendencies. That avoid things that aren't in your wheelhouse, prioritize things that are, and set yourself up for FE harms if you fail to follow through, and or seek situations that provide FE benefits with a limited amount of time investment. I would also suggest that we do best when the scope of the project is such that we can see the light at the end of the tunnel while we're working on it, and that it's at least potentially possible for us to get through the whole thing in one sitting. In order to help with that, I refer to my earlier prescription for Adderall, and addie up. It's the way to a bright future, filled with flow states that are not only hard to find, but persistent against your desire to stop sometimes. So, you just find the right level of amphetamine and you're a whole new man. I'm gonna watch a little bit more and just let everybody get a little bit more data, and then I'll probably wrap this one up. Blue Miles, got some good news for you. You're not going to jail tonight. Barring you do something stupid in the next couple of minutes, like pull out an enneagram on me. Whew. What else would you... what would you do if somebody pulled an enneagram on you and you didn't know what it was, or whether it might potentially have the capacity to be loaded with something? Naturally, you start firing your gun in all directions, which is what I did. And it wasn't just one ISFP. I guess it was, what did they say at the end? 14? 15 of them? It's some sort of ISFP convention. They were all getting massages and talking about sailing in the beach and stuff. Anywho, not that big of a loss. That's what I said at the precinct, and they're like, yeah, just a bunch of ISFPs. Somebody said, hey, you can't say that out loud, or else, the news media, they're always saying that we're killing people for no reason. After all, we're just a type police and we shouldn't even carry guns. So you can see my conundrum. Anyway, let's proceed.
We'll call her Mrs. Blue. Mrs. Blue, my mom. He has all this potential. We're sending him emails saying that he's acing these things, and then he'll just go fuck it for these things. And it's not making any sense. And he has a great narrative voice, but he hasn't learned to structure it, and he won't take the time out to do it because he wants to do it sometimes when he's interested in the topic, but then he doesn't want to do it. What is this weighing fucking focus? I also look at the IQ aspect. INTPs with IQ. I keep looking at these things, but they have the greatest potential for maxing out their IQ. Essentially, they have the greatest potential to have a large IQ or a high IQ, because the constant need for information and creating ideas, but not acting them out, but allowing them to fixate in your mind, propels you to kind of bring in more and more information, so you're grasping more and more concepts, so you're beginning to see more and more patterns, which is allowing your IQ to build. So it's like INTPs have the greatest propensity to have the highest IQs. Like, what the fuck? Your IQ...
Well, to explain what you're saying there a little it. It's as straightforward as this. If you ascertain consistency foremost, and then after that, you say, now let's come up with more possible ideas, then you're stuck in a deliberation loop forever, basically, and you never get around to saying, well, let's act one out, because, by nature, you determine its legitimacy. Now, if you're an ISTP, once you determine its legitimacy, you act it out and follow through on it, and just follow through on that plan. But if you're an INTP, you've taken the time to be deliberative and check out its legitimacy. And then instead of, once you say, okay, yep, that's legitimate, I've judged it correct, instead of doing it, you go, okay, now let's come up with more possible ideas and test the legitimacy of those, because really that first one wasn't legitimate until it's been proved legitimate against all other possible legitimacies. And you just don't, when people go, well, we should probably choose and do one instead of just reflecting upon them and musing indefinitely. INFP goes, listen, you're being a little hasty there. I have processed many of the possible interpretations of this. I have considered lots of different arguments for and against it that might possibly be made. But there's, hundreds, potentially thousands more possibilities that I still need to process through. How will I ever feel confident that indeed we should take action until we've completed our survey of the known universe and all possible things within it? So that concludes this episode of Type Police here on Talking with Trans People. Kimberly just came outside clad in towels to protect her from the rain that falls from the heavens above. And Blue Miles, I can see why those people argued about whether you're an INFP. At first, you gave off some of that vibe, but no, you're an INFP. That's what I say. We'll see what the commenters think. If people disagree with me, they will let me know, I'm sure, as they always do. Thanks for watching. Oh, I forgot. I meant to leave the badge up. Boom! Type Police. Thanks, Margie, for that. I meant to say that too. Margie made this badge for me without me asking her anything. She just sent me put in a comment and sent me a link to it, and it's great. It's a shield I'm proud to wear.
You mean Dawn?
I mean Dawn and wear. Wear and Dawn, Dawn and wear.
I'm not